I've been struggling with something over the past few months and I feel ready to talk about it. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and yeah, I've had a bit of a hard time recently. I've not been feeling particularly great and I thought I would talk to you about it because, well, I've got a series on my channel which is called Real Talk, and essentially the whole point of it is that I will open up and talk about things that are slightly harder to talk about. So yeah, let's go. I have in recent months had quite a few things just going a little bit wrong. Obviously, it started with the fact that I had to leave Spain and come back to the UK, and then there was this whole house drama thing that took place, but all of that was, I was on top of it, I was getting it all sorted, it was all fine and dandy, and then I put my house on the market. Please excuse the slightly funny background noise, by the way, if you hear any sort of odd noises, it's because I've got the heating on because it's freaking freezing, but old house, old radiators, they make a funny noise. So yeah, forgive me for that one. Okay, got the house on the market because my plan was then to sell my house here in the UK and head back to Spain. And just things have just not gone quite right. Like lots of things have gone a bit wrong and it's all kind of culminated in a really hard time and with me not feeling particularly great. Where do we begin? You know, the whole, like, do you ever get this feeling when you're kind of like, you've got little fires everywhere and you're trying to put them out, and any one thing on its own you can totally handle, but then you just get to the point where you're like, there's just so many things, I just can't mentally keep on top of them all, and sometimes physically keep on top of them all as well, because they can be time consuming. Okay, let's wind back. I might not get this in the right order. I probably should have put my thoughts on paper and got some sort of order between the beginning and now, but I didn't. So hey, never mind, let's roll with it. I went for my general smear test and guess what? It came back not quite right. So I had to go back again, and then they basically had another look. Sorry, that sounds so like, what's down there? Sorry. Anyone who's had a smear test, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, they had another look and they found some anomalies. There was some lumps and bumps where there shouldn't be lumps and bumps. So I got booked in for a colposcopy, which is basically where they have like a more in-depth look. And the time scale of waiting for a colposcopy was a month. And I'll be honest, longest month of my life. I was totally positive about it though, because I just thought, well, it'll be what it'll be. I'm sure it's nothing drastic, or it would have been 2-week urgent care. In that period of time as well though, I went to have my regular colonoscopy, so up the bum camera, because my mum died of bowel cancer. I have to get tested every now and again. The last time they did it, they found polyps. Polyps can be a precursor to bowel cancer. If you leave them completely untreated, they can develop into cancer, which is probably what happened to my mum, because she hadn't had a colonoscopy ever, I don't think, at that point. But they take years to turn into it. So for me and my family, we get tested like once every 5 years. However, 5 years ago, I had a check and I had a polyp. They said, come back in 3 years. So 3 years later, I booked my appointment to come in. Couldn't get an appointment for love or money because we were in like post-pandemic period of time. Then got to speak to a doctor at a different hospital to where I usually go, and they were like, why do you want a colonoscopy? Well, because I was told to, because I had polyps and I was supposed to come back after 3 years. And they were like, I don't know why you've been told to come back. Like, don't worry about it. So I was like, okay, it's a bit weird, but okay, fine. Then I got a letter through the post confirming the context of the consultation I'd had, and in it says that I didn't want to come for my colonoscopy at that point because I was too busy. Sorry, what? At what point did I say in that conversation that I was too busy? Didn't happen. I did say I am very busy at the moment. I did not say I'm too busy to come and, like, you know, check my health out to prevent the same fate happening to me that happened to my mother dying young. No, thank you. So I don't know what that was all about. But since then, I battled it out constantly having to phone the doctors and try and get appointments and try to go back. But because it was a bit of a battle, because like the one doctor had just said like, oh, don't worry about it, and it had kind of made out as if it was me that said I wasn't going to come for it. But anyway, it's a bit of a battle. And then finally I got one, literally while I was waiting for the colposcopy. I finally got one, but it was a real stressful time because the referral finally got accepted to the hospital that I usually go to, and then for some reason the referral letter hadn't gone through, and I contacted my doctor and said, what's going on? I'm waiting a long time. This is unusual to be waiting this long. And they said, oh, well, we definitely sent it. And then eventually I phoned the hospital and they said, nope, we haven't received it. So I had to go back and forth with my doctor. And anyone these days, you know, it's really freaking hard trying to get a doctor's appointment for love nor money. Could I get one? Anyway, eventually I went and had my colonoscopy, and would you believe it? Yes, I already had multiple polyps again. Not a problem, whipped them out, so no cancer there, it's fine. And I just, again, have to go in another few years to just get tested and probably whip out the next lot if there are any, and so on and so forth. It should be fine, I should be fine. As long as I do this regularly, it's fine. Unfortunately, the day that I was booked in for my colposcopy was the anniversary of my mother's death from cancer. Wonderful. Another very close person in my life also then had a lump in their breast, and I won't name who it is because it's personal to them, but I'm saying it with you because, you know, this stuff happens, girls. We need to go get checked, okay? We need to go get checked. And so they had the urgent care route. They then went for their appointment and then found that they'd been booked in for the wrong appointment. So then they had to get booked in for the right appointment, which, again, coincidentally, same day as my colposcopy, same day as the anniversary of my mother's death from cancer. Woohoo, lovely. While that was all going on, before I came back to the UK, I'd made a little, shall we say, bucket list of things I wanted to do while I was back in the UK for this period of time. And on it, I had said that I wanted to have a full family reunion with all, you know, aunties, uncles, everybody that there is. And well, guess what? I got it. Yay. Unfortunately, I got it because my auntie got sick and sadly passed away. And so the reunion was her funeral, which wasn't quite how I envisaged it. In all honesty though, and this is going to sound like a terrible thing to say, the sense of humour that my auntie and my mum both had, they probably would have giggled at that. They would. So we did kind of have a giggle about it on the day. So then it was lovely to see my family, and it was wonderful, and it was really nice. Obviously really sad circumstances, but hey, death is the only guarantee in life, isn't it? So, yes, me, my loved one who also was having cancer tests, we went for our cancer tests and they were all cancer-free. So that's 3 separate cancer scares and they were all cancer-free. So my mum was obviously looking down on me that day. But obviously, that's pretty stressful. On top of that, my job role had just changed at that point and it was really stressful going through that. Don't get me wrong, I can totally keep on top of my job. That was fine, essentially, like stressful, but nothing I couldn't handle. If everything else was going right in my life, that would have been a cakewalk for me. It's just with all this other stuff going on. And then on top of that, my house is just not selling. It's just not the market for it. Really, it's not, because there is 25 similar properties within a 1/4 mile radius on the market. Not ideal. And so even though I had people who were putting offers in and people who were interested, none of those people were actually in like the right position really to be putting offers in or to be buying. And then one person put in a really rude offer. But anyway, whatever. And so I've turned them all down because they're just not appropriate. So I'm gonna have to hold on to it for another year, which means I'm gonna have to rent it out again for another year, which I don't want to do because anyone who's watched any previous videos will know that it was really freaking stressful the last time. But the way I'm thinking of it is it's just 1 more year. And could I be that unlucky twice? Yes, I could. Oh, I definitely could, trust me. I could. But think positively, it'll be fine, it'll be great, okay. But also the fact of not selling it means that my life plans have had to change as well, because my life plans were to go back to Spain, and I would have the money behind me from the house, and I would probably buy a more... I own my place in Spain, but I would probably buy a more, shall we say, lifelong property, as opposed to where I live in Spain. Like, the place I bought was a holiday home when I first bought it, so I thought with holidays in mind, it's not really my forever home. So as much as I love it. So all of those plans are just gone, and my plan as well to finally travel and see I've got family all over the world, and I really wanted to use some of the money from the house sale to go and do that. That's not happening, but hey, that is very much first world problems. Can't go on holiday, poor me. But yeah, anyway, the final thing that just came and smacked me around the face is something that was a bit traumatic. Let's just say that much. I'm going to try really hard not to go into too much detail, because I do not want to give away any details as to who this person is, because there's people in my life who know this person, and so I want to be careful around that. Careful what you put on the internet, people. But essentially, I had somebody who's a very close friend of mine in Spain who had moved country and said to me, you know what, while you're waiting for these cancer tests to come, do you want to, like, you know, come and visit me? They've moved country, so come and visit me in the new country. And okay, fine, it's Sweden, whatever. I'm not going to be able to get through the story without telling it, but yeah, Sweden. And so they said, why don't you come and, you know, then you can have some brain time out. And so I took a few days to go to Sweden to see someone who has been close with me for probably about 2.5 years now. So someone I definitely know very well, someone I thought I did at least, someone that I was very close with. And I thought, yeah, great. Now I know this person has had some mental health issues since they moved to Sweden, but my gosh, I did not anticipate the situation that happened. I'm going to try not to go too deep with this one, because I don't think it's one that you're going to want to know the full details on, or you probably would, to be fair. If you watch any kind of crime documentaries, you probably would, but that's not what my channel is, so probably should be. Anyway, sorry, focus. So I fly out to Sweden. I go to their house, and they don't live in a city. They actually live on an island. Yes, an island off the coast of Sweden. It's a very small island. There's very few inhabitants. Most of the people who live there actually only live there in summer anyway. And you're literally, so say you got the house, you've got a garden, which is, I'm terrible with measurements, so let's just say the length of a double-decker bus. And then you've got, I don't know why I said double-decker bus. Double-decker buses are not longer than single-decker buses. Sorry. The length of a bus is what I should have said there. Then you've got like a cliff edge, and then it goes straight down into the sea. And then behind the house, you've literally got just the space of the road, which is a single track road, and then a car parking space, and then you've got the woods. Now, in those areas of Sweden, you've got bears, moose, lynx, wolves, you've got all sorts of animals that can be dangerous if you are to surprise them in some way. Like perfectly lovely animals, but just don't go, you know, pulling their tail. Now, first day I get there, I get shown around sort of, you know, the town and stuff, and it's like really lovely. Sweden, by the way, right now in winter is freezing, and it gets dark really early. I mean, don't get me wrong, what time is it now? It's like 1:30, and it's looking pretty dull here, but over there it's like pitch black by 2. So it's just me and my friend, and we're in their house. They live alone as well. We're in their house in the middle of nowhere, freezing cold. It's just really beautiful though, so beautiful. Anyway, go and see this place, and it's really lovely. They show me around. First night, fine, great. That evening we watched a horror film, which I now regret, called Midsommar, which is it's a horror film about going to Sweden and ending up getting, well, you know, bad things happen, put it that way. Don't recommend you watch it when you're in Sweden or going to Sweden. Then the next day we got up and went for like a lovely little adventure, and went hiking in the woods, went moose hunting. Not moose hunting as in moose hunting, but as in looking for moose. Moose searching. Oh my God. Oh! Yes, went searching for mooses. Moose. Get yourself together, girl. Yes, we went looking for moose. That was a way easier way to say, wasn't it? We went looking for moose. Didn't find any, but had a really great time and hiking all around the island. And as I said, there's like some bits which are kind of like cliff edges. And of course, me being me, got too close to the edge, slipped, fell down. With my left arm, I grabbed hold of a tree branch, pulled myself up, not a problem, scraped my knees a bit, fine. Unfortunately, since then, I then discovered that I've done something to my arm, and I am really struggling with it. It's very freaking painful. And no, I haven't been to a doctor or anything about it because I never bothered with that sort of thing. I just think it'll get better, it's fine. But honestly, I go to the loo and I go to pull my trousers down and I'm like, ow, because I can't, it's like that position that I can't move into. So anyone watching this who knows what that injury is, let me know, because I'm fine forwards, backwards, up and down, but it's when I put my arm behind me and go to try and move it, it's like, that's where it's like, hurts, at the back, sorry, just to demonstrate there. Okay, anyway, so I'm in Sweden and it's the second day and I've injured myself, but it's fine. Carried on walking around the island, then went for a bit of a paddle. Mistake, water is ice cold. My friend who's there is just like paddling in the water and they're just like, what are you talking about? The water's fine, come on in. And I'm just like, it's so painfully cold. Anyway.